Many of us may not be aware of it, but more and more Kenyan women are going for breast enlargement operations or surgery. A huge number of Kenyan women are going for all kinds of surgery to improve the way they look, to improve their physical features. How do we know this? We know this because the Kenyan market has attracted some top specialists from around the world. These top specialists in cosmetic surgery from around the world have not been attracted to Kenya because there are no customers. Yeah, so just join the dots. Definitely they are coming here because the market here is huge. And a lot of these doctors are using cutting-edge technology. Yeah. Now what this means is that a lot of these procedures are still very new. And while we are told it is safe, and while there have been very, very few cases where things have gone wrong, the truth is they are still new. And for instance, when new software is released, if we can just take an example, there are what we call bugs. So new software is released, it's working fine, but then there are bugs which are discovered later. That if you, for example, do a particular command on the software, it normally leads to a kind of roadblock where you can't proceed any further, where your software freezes on the screen, it hangs. And so what usually happens is that the people who've created that software continue improving on it and getting rid of the bugs as the software grows old in the market. Now this example I've given applies to virtually anything you can think of in life, anything that is new, including surgery to improve your looks. And this particular point was brought brutally home for many Kenyans with the latest case, with the recent case of a lady called June Wanza, who has passed on. Yes, she died. What she did is she wanted her breasts enlarged, so she went for surgery to have her breasts enlarged, and something went wrong, and she developed complications, and she passed on. Our condolences to the family, okay? But maybe let's look at this a little deeper, okay? What were the complications? Well, according to doctors, what happened is that, to do a breast enlargement operation, an incision has to be made just below the breast, okay? And when this incision is made, fat is injected into the breast, through this incision. And to simplify it, this fat is sucked in from other parts of the body which don't need that fat, and then they're put into the breast, and your breast is enlarged. Now, using fat as opposed to silicone, is better because it feels more natural. That's what experts tell us, rather than having silicone in your body or in your breasts. But according to doctors, what went wrong is that the incision punctured a part of the intestines, and as a result of that intestine started leaking, and releasing the contents into the body. And of course what the body did is the body tried to fight, because those are foreign objects as far as the body is concerned, and this is the chain of events that led to some serious internal infection on the patient, and as a result of that she passed on. Now Kenyans, whatever you think about them, are rich. They have money, because this surgery does not come cheap. For instance, another very popular operation these days, cosmetic surgery, is what is known as the Brazilian butt lift. Very many women are not happy with the size of their butts, therefore they'd like their butts to be enlarged. Now this procedure costs, wait for it, 500,000 Kenya shillings, $500,000. Really the long and short of all this, I'm told, is that if you want any corrective surgery, you should have a budget of about a kamili, $1 million Kenya shillings. Now that is a substantial amount of money. That's not chicken feed. Now it's very fascinating that while some women want their breasts enlarged, others want them reduced. And surprise, surprise, there are men, Kenyan men, who go in for this kind of breast surgery to reduce the size of their breasts. which have grown too big for a man. Now I'm a bit old-fashioned, and I wonder what is coming to the world. What is happening? I'm old-fashioned in the sense that I believe very firmly you don't interfere with God's handiwork, because you're bound to end up in problems if you try and do that. In my book, what you're actually trying to do, you're trying to correct God's work. How do you do that? How in the world do you begin marking God? Yeah, marking him and giving him marks, 10%, 100%. How do you do that? In my view, even if the operation does not result in complications, like the unfortunate case of June Wanza, something is bound to go wrong later on in life. That's my old-fashioned view, and you'll excuse me for it, but it's my view. Of course, I know many of you out there have different views. I know women have gone crazy about how they look, yeah, and even men, as I've just given you that example. And of course, not everybody can afford expensive surgery, and therefore cheaper means are being used, yeah, like skin lightness. Now, many people don't want to know, but the truth is, when you use skin lightness, the harmful effects go straight to your liver. A case in point is this woman, yeah, a case that I know about. I was told by a doctor. She had a sponsor from Germany, yeah, a Mzungu from Germany, and this Mzungu was married. And what happened is that when they started their relationship here in Kenya, what used to happen is that the Mzungu would come here at least 3 or 4 times a year. But this Mzungu maintained this Kenyan woman as his wife, as his legal wife. But this woman was unfaithful, and unfortunately she got pregnant. And so she had the big challenge of how she was going to convince her husband, her Mzungu husband, that the child is his. And yet the person she was unfaithful with was as black as charcoal in complexion. Now, you know, DNA is unpredictable, and there are also chances that the child would come out very light-skinned. But her worst fears were confirmed, and the child was born when the Mzungu had still not yet arrived. And so what this woman decided, she decided to use skin lighteners on the toddler. And after a few weeks, the child fell sick. And when the child was taken to doctors, of course, doctors could not be able to detect what was wrong. Yeah. And so, of course, the treatment was focused on treating the symptoms without really identifying what the root cause of all this was. And that small innocent angel passed on. She died. Okay. Now, of course, kids who have just been born cannot take the kind of punishment a full-grown human being can, especially to vital organs like the liver. So, to cut a long story short, the skin lightness killed that small baby. Now, that's a real horror story, but it will not stop women from using skin lightness. Yeah, many women, in fact, most women use skin lightness. Yeah, because it is believed if you're light-skinned, you're more beautiful. Well, I don't agree. And there's very firm evidence in the mother of my children. Yeah, I don't agree that light-skinned women are the most attractive. But try and convince Kenyan women that. You'll fail. What you'll be doing is trying to play a guitar to goats. Yeah, goats will not appreciate that music. They'll not be able to know what you're saying or what you're doing or what you're singing. Bottom line, trying to convince Kenyan women to leave skin lightness is like playing a guitar to goats, to a herd of goats. The impact and effect is the same. Now, of course, this most recent case of June Wanza is very bad for this kind of business. Yeah, definitely business will go down. However, you can be sure that it will soon be forgotten, and women and even men, a few men, will be lining up for some kind of surgery to enhance their looks. That is really the reality. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.